Friends, it is beautiful sun setting on Wednesday at the Thermal Club. No on-track action today. We do go live tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific to 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Then in the afternoon from 1:30 to 4:30 Pacific here on this, I think it's 2.9 mile IndyCar layout that they have come up with. This country club road course. Interesting day walking around, getting to know the place, getting to talk to people about what's happening. IndyCar tells me there are 60 credential requests for the media for this spring training. I've been to every spring training for a really long time and I cannot remember 60 requests for credentials, so I take that as a very significant positive. Spoke to some folks today as well about the track, where it fits in on IndyCar's future. Is this anything more than just a marketing and promotions grab by the folks behind the Thermal Club? Is IndyCar being used? All the folks I spoke to at IndyCar laughed at that. They also said, well, hey, we're also here to try and help. If we can get more folks interested in joining the Thermal Club by us being here and them knowing about it, that's not the worst thing in the world, but there are certainly more plans than just using IndyCar as a real estate sales tool, from what I'm told and from what I've known prior to the event. Interesting driving in. Private security firm at the front gate, strapped, and with what looked like bulletproof vests, full tactical gear, pistols on their hips and such. Don't know if I've experienced that coming into a racetrack before, especially with everybody strapped, but again, you know for sure this is a very secure facility. I want to talk about other things that might be interesting that I've heard or learned about this. IndyCar goes to the Palm Desert to do spring training thing. Heard an interesting tale about the original ideas for what this could be. So not just spring training, testing, learning about the cars, but could we do something special? I heard pretty good authority. Original concept had some of the very wealthy real estate owners, folks who've built those $5 million homes here. Original concept was for many of them to put up money, something like $100,000 a piece, for a Sunday grudge match, winner takes all, $1 million race. I really wish that was happening. That would be amazing. Sadly, not happening, but nonetheless, I love the idea of $1 million grudge match IndyCar race. If it's not happening here, thinking back to the old, sponsored by Marlboro, unfortunately, but the Marlboro Challenge, which was an all-star race set up for about 10 to 12 IndyCar drivers, where there was a big payout for that. How do we come up with a modern version of that? Grudge match, winner takes all IndyCar stuff. Give me all of that, please. Another interesting thing to mention, seeing for the first time in practice, walking throughout the paddock here, the film crew from Vice, the folks doing the filming for the 100 Days to Indy. That's great. Other part that again falls in the interesting category, IndyCar has told all of its teams, you cannot stop them. You cannot block them. You cannot turn them away. If you happen to have a 100 Days to Indy person, whether it's a microphone nearby or a camera, you can't run them out. Saw and heard about folks from that film crew coming in, getting right up on the gearbox, rear dampers, full zoom, full access. That's part of this new reality here, is IndyCar and the CW and Vice and whatnot trying to do their version of Drive to Survive. Not every team has had that we're going all the way in, getting whatever we want, and you can't stop us type thing happen yet. But I can share what I have heard. We won't name teams, but have heard that some teams, knowing that they, by rule, are unable to turn away film crews, unable to turn away microphones being stuck in their face, there are some teams that have said, all right, well, if we can't prevent that, the one thing you can't make us do is say any words that we don't want to. So, if someone comes up to you with a microphone and says, tell us about this thing, and it seems like it's meant to draw controversy or whatever else, Some teams have started the process having all team meetings, everybody, whether it's the driver down to the person who just started yesterday working at the front desk. Everybody has been brought in and given, at some teams, and I think this will happen with more teams, standard answers. So if you get jammed up with a microphone and you either don't know what to say or don't want to say anything, I'd just like to say that our sponsors, A, B, C, and D, are the best, and our team is the best, and I'm so thankful for everything, and I'm super thankful, and our sponsors are the best, or some version of that. So the give and take part of this 100 Days to Indy, where film crew has full access. Teams can't stop them from filming, can't stop them from approaching them, but can stop themselves from saying things that might get them in trouble. How much transparency is going to come through in what gets filmed? I don't know, but I do know some teams are already telling their crews what to say, what not to say, and giving them standard answers. Last little thing for you, thanks to our pal Stephen Wilson, took us for some narrated laps of this IndyCar layout in one of Don Cusick Motorsports' Indy 500 entrant. They also hope to do a couple races towards the end of the year, Portland and Laguna maybe, Steph tells me. Did some narrated laps in a Porsche 911 GT3, which were awesome. I was ballast, was also filming. Hey, Will Power was also filming, and that was a blast as well. Hadn't been in a kind of sort of race car in a little while, but that was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. That was a lot of fun, y'all. Truly, that was a lot of fun. And the fact that Steph was able to hold on to the car and not spin with me kind of making the thing actually tilt way the heck like that. Yeah, so that was a good way to get to know this layout. So hopefully gonna have some fun things for you tomorrow once we do start going loud at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. Other than that, I'm Marshall Pruett. Thanks again. Check out racer.com, Racer Magazine. We'll speak to you on Thursday.